Hey, Evan Fisher here. So I know that I said that I would have another video for you. Unfortunately, the next video actually isn't out yet. To be honest, this video isn't even actually out yet. The guys who are absolutely fantastic video editors, who do all the fantastic content for the channel, like they don't even know that I'm putting this video up right now. So sorry guys. I'd like totally went rogue here. This is basically just a raw, non-professionally edited video that I wanted to put up because I wanted to give a little bit more context about me, about the channel, and also ask a favor of you. And so on the context on the channel side of things, I could have built the channel along the lines of like my core business, which is in investor documents, in capital raising, and talk to the audience of founders that are trying to grow their businesses, right? But I talked with a lot of people about it, and some people who are close to me, and they actually turned around and said, hey, why don't you actually do a channel about Upwork, right? And how that has been like an integral part of this whole story of, what you're doing today. And so I had a couple of reactions to it. And my first reaction was like, okay, number one, I don't actually know everything about Upwork. I still learn more every single day. I've only been on the platform for like 4 years. And so I'm not like, some expert on this. But it got me thinking about, how I got started on Upwork and sort of what motivated that. And so it got me back to the first day, actually the day before the first day that I even heard about Upwork being a thing that you can use to make money. And so that was a Sunday, and it was a pretty tough day in my life. I had just been fired from a job, and I had a 3-month-old daughter who needed to eat, and a wife that I needed to take care of. And so I was jobless, without income, without any prospect of earning any more money, because I was in a foreign country, okay, outside of the US, where there was just no way that I could get a decently paying job whatsoever. And I checked my bank balance, and it was $10.21. So, yeah, freak out mode, right? And the next day, I spoke with my mom, and Mom, if you're watching this, thank you so much. She mentioned to me, hey, why don't you check out Upwork? Maybe you can figure out something on there and find a way to maybe make some money. And that was kind of the start of everything. And from that moment, that was kind of the seed where I got started. And it wasn't some instantaneous thing where I just magically like started, oh my God, fantastic, money's like raining down from the heavens or something. No, it wasn't that. It was actually kind of slow and steady, and just sort of grew and grew and grew. But along the way, there were a lot of things that were really hard. Some things that were just hurdles and challenges every step of the way, where I wish that I had a shortcut. I wish that I didn't have to go through that. For example, even the small things like, when you get your first under 5-star review, when you get your first 1-star review, when you get your first person that is like going to dispute with you, it's like I wish that I never had to go through that. And, if it wasn't literally the only thing that I knew that could make me money in that moment, then it might, things like that might have put me off that forever. But there are ways around this stuff. And that's what I was forced to learn every step of the way, because it was the only way at that point. And these are things that I wish I had when I got started, when I was just like fumbling around and, trying to figure out like, how the heck do I do this? And so then so I was thinking about that, and I'm like, these are things that like I genuinely want to share, because I want to help people. And I've tried it, honestly. That's what was my second thought. I've tried it many times to try and share, okay, here's exactly what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, every step of the way, with people who have come to me saying like, hey, how do I do this? How can I, make this work? And I'm like, all right, listen, like, let's do this. Let's go through it. And, I can show you exactly what to do. And literally you can be making more money than you ever would in a 9-to-5 in extremely short order. And I tried that a number of times with a number of different people. And, I don't know that they really truly cared, because they didn't end up going forward and actually taking action and following through with things. And so I never really thought that people would care about this enough to take action and follow through on what can be some simple things that mean that, yeah, you don't have to work for anybody. You don't have to, drive to an office. You don't have to 9-to-5 it. You don't have to have a life where you're physically stuck in one, certain location where you can travel, where nobody's the boss of you but you, and all the benefits that come with, being your own person, being financially free, being able to run your business the way that you see fit, your freelance career the way that you want. I just didn't know that people really cared because of, I don't know, people just never really responded, right? And so I never really had like a true data point of like, I can point to this person and say like, yeah, they followed my advice and it turned out to be a massive, enormous success for them. Truth be told, I didn't put in, a ton of effort up until this point to be able to even do that. With a wide number of people. But what I'm hoping for with this channel is that, hey, maybe there actually are people who do care, who want to grow a business, who want to have that financial freedom for themselves, have that work freedom, have that life freedom, this time to spend with their families, and just total relaxation and flexibility of, yeah, like everything that I do, I'm responsible for myself, and I don't have somebody that's gonna fire me if I don't jump left when they say jump left, right? I'm hoping for the channel that is the case, that you do care, that there are enough people out there that do want that will say, yeah, listen, I'm not just going to listen and watch some videos. I'm actually going to do some stuff and follow through on this because I genuinely, truly want it. And I want to hear more. And please tell me like how I can do this, because I want to be an open book. If you are that person, I want to be an open book for you. Like, that's why I'm here. I want to deliver maximum value. And so to that end, I'm going to tell you what the sort of approach that that I, in my own little like small like box, whatever, have tried to come up with as, hey, this maybe makes sense as far as a potential path for a channel in content strategy. So this, I don't know if you can see it. This is what our little content strategy diagram is. You probably can't read any of it, but I'm just going to sort of give you the cliff notes of it. Basically, if we've got sort of three little tracks, you know, 3 tracks for 3 different levels, whether you're a beginner, whether you're intermediate or advanced. So in the context of Upwork, what does that mean? Whether you have only just started or are thinking about getting started as a beginner, intermediate, like you're getting the hang of it, and advanced being, okay, you've been doing it for a while, but you really want to just take it massively to the next level and scale that bad boy up, right? So across this, you know, set of content that that we're going to be doing, we're talking about things like what's the daily workflow that I use to win a bunch of jobs? Like, what did I do every single day that ended up, you know, like basically booking, you know, crazy rates, what I would consider, you know, unbelievable rates within 6 months, right? How do we feel about and handle competition? Should we worry about competition on Upwork? How should I be bidding when I'm sending a proposal for a job? And does that actually matter? Then what should my proposals look like? How do I get my first job? How do I get more 5-star reviews? Because some people just don't rate. And what do I do if I get a below 5-star review? How do I manage that and handle that? How do I raise my rate just in light speed? Because, like, guys, I've done all this stuff because I'm not going to just like spout something that I don't know about. But yeah, on the intermediate track, things like getting client referrals for more work. And then once we get into the more advanced stuff, disputes. What happens when things get really nasty? And how do you make sure that you are delivering excellent work and that even if somebody is just a groucho, you're not going to be exposed? And things like identifying and getting more of those perfect clients. And I'm not, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I'm not talking about, you know, like a Microsoft, a LinkedIn, or what have you. I'm talking about a client who's fun to work with, a client who has a budget and wants to pay for somebody and will value somebody like you at the price that you want to be charging, that's going to make it super interesting for you, that they're going to get far more value than whatever they pay you. How do you find those people and how do you identify them? And more importantly, hi, Nate. You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of the beneficiaries of this channel's success and efforts. Nate, say hi.
Hi.
I love you. So, with those, bye-bye, Nate. With those perfect clients, we also want to filter out, how do we recognize people who are not a perfect client? And I'm talking about the ones that you sign up and you agree a contract and you go to work with them, but you sort of felt a little bit off and you knew that it was something that you probably shouldn't have gotten into in the first place. And then guess what happens? It goes wrong. And you look back and you're like, I should have known. I should have known better. Something, wasn't right, or something just, I shouldn't have done that. How do you look for them? And how do you make sure that you're listening to those signs that are going to indicate what is potentially a project that you should probably stay away from, because there are a lot of those. So this is advanced level stuff. And then, getting toward the end of it of like, okay, how do you then productize your work, turn it into a system, and then be able to build a business off of it, right? That's really where you want to end up. And then once you have a business, how do you scale that? Because there are inherent challenges. So we've got those different levels of beginner, intermediate, and advanced stuff. And I don't know where you sit. I don't have a feel for that yet, because I don't know where this, who YouTube is going to be promoting the channel to. I don't know, where you're at. And so that's where I have a favor to ask, basically. And this is not for the YouTube algorithm, but I assume that if you watch anything on YouTube, you know exactly what you can do to help YouTube to promote content like this, and to show me that, yeah, hey, listen, there is an audience for this sort of stuff, and we do care. The way that you can tell me that, yes, this is something that I actually care about, is by leaving a comment below, answering a couple of questions. And the questions are these. Number one, are you already on Upwork? And if so, which category do you fall into? Beginner, intermediate, or advanced? The second one is, what's the content that you would want me to focus on first? Is there a specific question that you want answered right now? And also, while I was talking through, the sort of content that we're going to be putting out, is there something that I just mentioned that you were sitting there and your ears perked up and you're like, oh my God, if you made content like that, if you talked about that, then I would watch that video in a second. What's the one thing, if there was any, of what you would care about the most from some of the things that I just mentioned? And then the third question that I would like for you to answer in a comment is, a lot of people that are already on Upwork that I've spoken with about, hey, we're thinking of going in this direction with the channel. What do you think? About 75% of them said, hey, listen, I want you to do a live stream. Like, you should absolutely do a live stream, because then their sort of premise was this: listen, I have questions that come up every single week of like, hey, how do I fix this with my sort of flow, or how do I be more effective at that, or this was a problem for me this week. What do you think I should do? Have you seen this before? Because I have literally talked with thousands of prospective clients. I've turned down a lot of them along the way, but I've seen kind of a lot, and seen a lot of situations and handle things in different ways. I don't always have the best answer, but I know what has kind of worked to at least make sure that, things are just in general consistently going in the right direction, right? You've always got speed bumps and everything, but I've handled a lot of these things before. And what their premise was, hey, listen, I have things that are coming up, and a live stream would be really, really beneficial in answering some of those questions, and just getting me straight to the answer as fast as I possibly can on a weekly basis. And maybe that's more lower impact on you, because putting together an actual scripted video, dude, it's a lot of work. But that's the third question that if you can answer that in your comment, do you think that you would find value if I live streamed? Would you actually attend? Or would you have questions that, you would come on and say, hey, listen, Evan, I've got a question on this. I'll type it in the chat and whatever. And let's talk through it. Is that something that you would want? Because my promises for this channel and, this content that we're developing are, I promise that I will deliver maximum value. If it's going to be, time on this side, and more importantly, time on your side, time that you're taking out to watch videos like this of basically me going along and freaking rambling, then it better be valuable, right? It better be valuable to you, and you better get something out of it. And I want to get you to that as quickly as possible. I also want to make it, funny and entertaining and dynamic and positive, and help motivate some change. Because ultimately what I want to do is I want to share what little I have learned, I guess, with as many people as it's going to actually be valuable to as possible, so that you can accomplish your goals. But I would like to know what those are, and where you stand, and what you think would be most valuable, and if you think in particular that a live stream would be valuable to you. So with that, listen, I want to help. Let's do it. Thanks, guys. See you soon.